What's up guys, Boss here, and I'm back from the YouTube video, and this time we're going to try to get 12 wins in this Grand Challenge. We're currently 8-0 right now, so a really solid start already, and I'm using this Barb Hut Graveyard deck, which is really good in the meta. One of the reasons why it's so good is because it's really great against that popular RG deck, RG Ghost deck in the meta, and RG decks in general. This deck does amazing against because your defense is so difficult for them to break through. You have the Barbarian Hut and the ewiz, Mega Minion, Baby Dragon, a bunch of things that you can space out so they're unable to spell them, whether they have a Fireball or a Lightning. This deck has been used a lot on ladder by a lot of people, so Swarzen was using this deck. He's 6th in the world right now. I believe he's hiding his deck with Lava Clone, not necessarily hiding it, but he's, yeah, like in a Grand Challenge, I think. And Big Spin's using the deck as well, 12th in the world right now, so a lot of people using the deck. And also, guys, really unfortunate, I would actually be 13th in the world right now at my season highest. You see, I made it to 72.49. I did a bit of pushing on ladder earlier, but unfortunately, I ended up losing, a few games in a row, and I'm back down to 7K, but try to work my way back up. But anyway, this deck is, really good. It's a deck that you want to be making, mostly passive plays in single elixir, and then in double and triple elixir, that's when you're going in for your main graveyard pushes, because of course the deck is pretty expensive. So before we get in the first game, if you guys want to use my creator code BOSS, it helps support me, supports the channel, and I really appreciate all you guys who do use my code. You can use it in any Supercell game, and it means a lot. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into the first game. As I said, we are 8-0. We're going to find the game right away, which is great. So here we go. We'll give this guy the good luck. And yeah, guys, my next video, I'll try to make it a ladder video. Maybe I can get back up to 7,200. And I was actually using RG, the same RG deck I just made a video on. So as I said, this deck is definitely one that you want to be pretty passive in single elixir. So typically, I don't make a play in the first minute, and then maybe if they don't do anything on, a Barb Barrel, Mega Minion, something like that is okay, but overall, there's really no rush to make the starting play, because Graveyard in general is so good in double and triple, especially with the Barbarian Hut. This guy has Wall Breakers, Valkyrie, and an Ice Wizard, so this could be the ROYALE deck, if you guys know what that is. It's basically a ladder player. Well, it's called the ROYALE deck because he's the best one with it. I believe he's a French ladder player who uses a Bomb Tower, Rocket, Minor Wall Breaker deck, and so far that's what it's looking like because we've already seen the Valkyrie, Ice Wizard, and I'm gonna guess he has a Rocket. So pretty much if he doesn't activate the King Tower, we're gonna have a pretty easy time here because he doesn't have many graveyard answers. I'm gonna go for a Poison on this Ice Wizard as well as the Bomb Tower. Baby Dragon's even going to splash on the tower, getting a couple hits. It might even get a third when the Ice Wizard dies. That's so much damage. Really, really solid start. And what's really nice is the Wall Breakers are going for the Barbarian Hut, and the Barbarian Hut was already almost dead, so that worked perfectly for us. I'm going to Knight in front, and I'm going to hold off on the Graveyard because he has Goblins, so with me not having Poison in Cycle, it would be kind of a wasted Graveyard because he would just go for Goblins on it. Alright, yeah, there they are. He's going to Miner. Alright, I'm going to go for a Graveyard and a Barb Barrel because his Goblins are out of rotation, and we are in double elixir now, which means we are able to be more aggressive, and overall, this is just an extremely difficult matchup for him. Any Graveyard deck in general does quite good versus Minor Wall Breakers, and with him having the, the Rocket, it's even worse for him because he can't really... Ooh, Wall Breaker somehow snuck through, but it's not really going to matter so much anyway because we still have over 2,000 HP on the tower. Like, it's not even close. I'm going to go for a Graveyard. I'm going to Poison. He might go for Goblins, but he's going to have to play them in the back if he does. No, it looks like he's just going to Tornado. But honestly, regardless of what he does, it's GG anyway. There's really no way he can defend. I feel like even if he played it perfectly, there's just not much of a chance for him to win that matchup. And just like that, we're 9-0 now. Let's see if we can win this Grand Challenge with a clean 12-0. The last GC video I did, which was, I believe, a couple days ago, I think I got 12-1. We'll see if we can get 12-0 this time. And I actually have won the last 2 grand challenges I played, so if I win this one, I've won 3 in a row, which is really solid as well. So we're going to wait. I mean, no need to make a play. I will bar barrel if he doesn't do anything in the next 20 seconds or so, just to, you know, apply a tiny bit of pressure, see if I can maybe force something out of him, and then go for a barb hut. But I see a lot of people use barb hut graveyard, and for whatever reason, they go sometimes barb hut first play, which is not really what you want to do. That's a very risky play until they've at least used something, because if you barb hut first play and they have like Lava Hound or something, or, you know, I'm not really sure, but you can kind of get punished pretty badly for it. He's going to ignore the bar barrel, so we get 2 free hits. I mean, whatever he's playing is, it's got to be pretty expensive and good in double and triple. I don't know why else he'd be waiting. I mean, I might set up for a barb hut at about 120 at this point, because he's not going to be using... I mean, even if he were to have lava, I feel like it would be okay. I'm going to go barb hut low, because I know he doesn't have a hog rider if he's waiting this long. He's got a Night Witch, so I mean that probably is Golem or Elixir Golem. And there's the Golem. I knew it had to be one or the other. Just gonna poison and then Baby Dragon probably when the Night Witch gets a little closer. Yeah, there we go. So Baby Dragon, 2 splashes will finish it off. And then the bats get cleaned up really nice and easy. So this is a really good matchup for us. If you guys do not like Golem, I actually would really recommend using... Barb Hut Graveyard, because it does so good against it. I'm just going to poison this. It's going to hit the Hunter, and anything else he drops inside of it would get hit. It also prevents him from playing a Night Witch. So overall, that poison worked out really nicely. We got a really solid lead. We can set up for another Barbarian Hut. If he goes for a Golem, we should be able to stop it relatively easy, as long as we cycle back to another poison. The question is, though, is we don't really know yet if he has a... I believe he hasn't used a lightning yet, or any kind of spell. I could be wrong, but I don't think he has used a spell yet. And if I had to guess, I would assume that it's... Yep, lightning. So I'm going to go in. He's going to Prince to block the bridge. Oh, he's just used all of his elixir. I'm going to go for a graveyard. This should be pretty good, even though we don't have anything tanking for it right now. As I said, he used so much of his elixir that he's not going to have a lot to defend the graveyard, and his Night Witch is completely shut down, so he doesn't have any counter push potential, with the exception of the Hunter, which really doesn't offer too much counter push value for him anyway, so he's just going to set up for a Golem in the back. And yeah, we should just keep doing what we're doing. We could even be extra cautious and just play extremely passive, but... Okay, we'll see. He's probably going to go for... I'm going to poison this. Even though he didn't play the Night Witch, it's still really good value. There's lightning, so now I'm free to play my ewiz. And this is just, as you guys can see, extremely easy to stop. There's no way he's breaking through. And this is what Graveyard, Barb Hut Graveyard does extremely well against. Any kind of Golem deck, any kind of Giant deck, any kind of RG deck. And that's why it's good in the meta. Golem isn't that good in the meta, but it's certainly very, very good against Golem. The worst matchups you're going to get are probably extremely fast cycle decks, and that's just because in single elixir it's so hard to keep up with their cycle. Things like 2.6 and Expo in single elixir are nearly impossible to keep up with their cycle. So those would be examples of like pretty difficult matchups. I'd also consider Log Bait to be kind of hard in single, but essentially with those type of fast cycle decks, if you survive single and get in double and triple, you're going to be okay. But for something like Golem, in all elixirs, like single elixir, double elixir, triple elixir, whatever the case is, they're not going to be able to break through because both you and your opponents have a pretty expensive deck. So, all right, 10-0, fairly easy. I mean, as you guys, obviously this deck takes like a tiny bit of skill, but like if you guys have been, probably noticing by now, it's a pretty basic deck to play. I feel like it's one that's pretty easy to pick up and use. It takes a lot less skill than a lot of decks. So it really is a great deck, like, if you're looking, like, to win your first, like, Classic Challenge or Grand Challenge. Like, I truly believe that. Okay, so here we go. This is what I was talking about. We're versus Expo right now. Expo is honestly not as easy as it might seem, even though you have the Barb Hut and Single Elixir. It's really, really rough if you're not careful. You need to play Barb Huts low. So if they defensive Expo... Yeah, I'll go for a Barb Hut now. Oh, he's already setting up for a Tesla. I'm going to poison, hit the Tesla too. And it's going to be, a decent value poison. The Tesla's almost dead now. Expo's, only has a third of its health. Yeah, I don't know. This is, if we get out a single without him getting an Expo lock, I think we can win. But if he gets a pretty big Expo connection in Single Elixir due to just outcycling us, then we could have a little bit of a problem. Alright, I believe he might be back to Expo now. We'll have to see. Alright, he's back to Expo. Is he going to play it? He's not going to. Interesting. There it is. We might need to poison it. We'll see, though. Actually, I'm going to go Baby Dragon because this will kind of give us a little bit of... Oh, wow. He's going to... Knight? That's a little... He's spending quite a lot of Elixir just to protect. I don't think that was that good of a Knight. I'm kind of surprised he played that. Okay, so we're completely fine. I don't think this guy is the best Expo player I've seen. He didn't really do a good job of applying pressure for, in Single Elixir. So we might actually have a shot of winning this. He's going to begin the Fireball cycle, though. I'm going to go for a poison. We're hitting the Tesla, we're hitting the Expo, we're hitting the Tower. Perfect poison. We couldn't have gotten more value than that in that situation. We hit everything we needed to. I think we might go for a Graveyard here. Now that we are in double, this might be a good opportunity for us, especially with that Tesla being in the other lane. Although this could be a little bit problematic. Expo does lock on the Tower. The thing is, though, is he's not going to be able to, I think, support the Expo, so we can reset it with the ewiz, because he has to defend the Graveyard. But yeah, guys, as you can see, even in double, it's quite easy for him to get that Expo connection, and difficult for us to build up a Graveyard push. I'm going to go for an Barb Hut down here. I hope that Expo isn't in range of it. I don't know if it is. Okay, thank goodness it's not. But I played the Barb Hut there, so he can't Fireball the weaker Tower. But you can see, he's getting so greedy, he's just Fireball cycling our Tower. So we now, at this point, need to make sure we're applying a lot of pressure right now. Otherwise, we're just going to get spell cycled out, which is unfortunate. So I'm going to go for a poison. I mean, I don't expect to get much... Yeah, he cycles back to another set of archers. But yeah, guys, as you can see, this is really, really rough. Big Spin actually said one of the hardest matchups for this deck is Expo. And it really... And it makes sense, because we're just having, to be honest, a really impossible time here breaking through. We haven't really been able to do anything, and that Tesla has been just getting so much value for him. So I think this might be it. Yeah, that's GG. Unless he makes like a major mistake on defense or something. Otherwise, I think we lost for sure. But yeah, that's GG. Really rough matchup. I mean, he played it well, like he did what he needed to win. I'm really surprised he didn't get any Expo connections in single because it's really easy to do that when you're as the Expo player, but I mean, regardless, you can see it didn't really matter. I mean, we couldn't get any damage. Those archers are just amazing versus the graveyard. The Tesla's getting loads of value versus like the baby dragon and mega minion, and I mean, it's really rough. Like, as you could tell, like even though you have that barb putt, it doesn't really matter because they can outcycle it. And also, if you're playing barb putts constantly, you're never going to be able to get an offensive graveyard push going because they'll just be able to defensive expo, and you can't support the graveyard a ton if you're spending 7 elixir on a barb putt. So I mean, it's really tricky. And expo, I don't know what your guys' opinion is. It seems to be really good in this meta. A lot of people, like pros, are even saying like it needs a nerf, the Expo or the Tesla. I mean, I don't know what your guys' opinion is on that, but I mean, I can't say I disagree because the Tesla and Expo are really, really strong and can get a lot of value in a lot of matchups for sure. Alright, this guy I think is using either Icepo or Graveyard. Now, if it's Icepo, it's a better matchup than 2.9 because they don't have the archers. And if it's Splash Shard, which it's looking like, this is also a good matchup for us because the Barb Putt's annoying for him, and also the Mega Minion gets a lot of value in this matchup. You might be wondering how in the world does the Mega Minion get a lot of value. It's because, by the way, I'm going to Barb Putt low. A lot of people, I see a lot of Barb Putt Graveyard players do this, which I think is a mistake, is if you know it's Graveyard, I sometimes see them like play it here in the middle. You don't need to play it in the middle. If you know, because they could snipe it with a baby dragon. If you know it's Graveyard, you can play it in front of your king tower, or you could even play it behind your tower, your arena tower. That's the best placement for it. Now you guys know if you didn't. Like, that's only if you're versus Graveyard, though. I wouldn't recommend in any other matchup doing that. It's just, that's just when you're against Graveyard. Alright, I'm going to go for a Graveyard right now. He's probably going to poison it, or no, he's going to go for an Ice Wizard as well as a Knight. I'm going to poison. Alright, that NATO didn't do too much for him. I'm probably going to go for a Barbarian Hut behind the tower because it'll actually end up helping versus the Graveyard a little bit. It's just going to Knight by itself in the other lane. Huh. Interesting. I don't think that was a good Graveyard from him. He's just giving us a bunch of counter push potential. We even have a little bit of a split lane pressure push going here. And he's going to have Bomb Tower instead of the Goblin Cage. So that's good to know, I guess. Alright. We got a really nice push going here in the right lane. Ooh, that... I'm going to go for a Barb Hut in this lane this time because he has the Bomb Tower down in the left, and also we already have this one still up momentarily, so I didn't want to give him too much poison value. Overall, this has been a pretty close game, but ooh, this is good. The fact that ewiz stayed alive. Alright, I'm definitely going to go for a Graveyard. This might actually force a poison out of him this time. Huh, he's not going to poison. He's really not going in for poisons on the Graveyards at all. Which is a little surprising in my opinion. I know obviously he does want the counter push potential, but I really feel like he needs to be getting poisons off on the Graveyards. And that poison, I don't think that was a good poison. Because now he's not going to have it for the Graveyard. And we actually have a little bit of a counter push going. But yeah, you guys can see overall, I think this matchup is slightly in our favor because the Mega Minion gets us a lot of value. And also, the Barbarian Hut, even though he's got the Bomb Tower for it, I just feel like it's a little bit more useful in the matchup than the Bomb Tower is. So let's see, we have a little bit of a lead still. I'm going to go for a Graveyard now. He's getting really desperate for damage, and now he doesn't have any Elixir to defend the Graveyard, so we're going to get at least a couple hundred more damage, and that should for sure be GG. So a pretty nice win there versus a different kind of Graveyard deck. Again, I think it's a good matchup for us. I don't think we hard counter or anything like that, but I would say it is in our favor slightly just due to the fact that we have Mega Minion, and that's really good against the Baby Dragon. It's also good against his Knight, and I think that... I don't know if the ewiz is necessarily better than, you know, the Ice Wizard or the other... But the Baby Dragons, or excuse me, the... what was I saying? The Mega Minion. So we're 11-1 right now, and this is potentially our last game. We'll see. And if it takes too long to edit out the search time, or if it takes... Goodness, I don't know what I'm saying at this point. If it takes too long to find a game, I'll edit out the search time. Like more than 30 seconds. Oh, there we go. We found it. Here we go. We found a game versus Random Panda. Good luck. Alright, we're just going to chill, wait for him to make a play. I'll just bar barrel. Why not? Ooh. Well, this is... so Hoggy Q. Okay. This is a little rough, I think. In single, at least, it for sure is. I think what we need to do is, because he has a significantly faster cycle than us, I think we need to, in a lot of cases, defend his Hog with ewizzes and stuff like that. Otherwise, he's going to be able to outcycle our Barbarian Hut really, really easily. So, I mean, he did just spend 6 Elixir. Let's go for a mini counter push here. Just to see if... Ooh, the ewiz is going to lock on the tower. Yeah, I knew he was low on Elixir. Oh my gosh, no way the ewiz is at 1 HP. Okay, that Knight won me the game. And I think we already won. Oh my gosh. I knew that was going to get damaged. I didn't think it was going to take majority of his tower. The reason why I put that Knight in front was because he spent 6 Elixir on that Hog push and then just had nothing for the counter push. He had Bomb Tower and that was it. He used all of his Elixir up. And he really messed up. I mean, he was trying to go for that, a little bit of chip damage, but he wasn't really thinking ahead and didn't realize that we were going to, you know, ultimately take his whole tower with the counter push. But that's what happens with this deck. I mean, you often, lots of times, get quite a bit of your damage without the Graveyard, just because of how good the Barb Hut is on defense and counter pushing. But I think ultimately this guy just was a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too greedy early on, excuse me, and he kind of paid the price. Let's go. We're gonna get 12, end this grand challenge 12-1, really nice. As I said, guys, really recommend this deck. It's amazing in the meta, very easy to use. You know, like you know, obviously, regardless of what you use, it might be difficult for you to win a grand challenge, which is completely understandable. But If you're using this, I feel like if I had to rate the amount of skill this deck takes, it's probably, if a 10 means it takes a ton of skill and a 1 being like it's extremely easy to play, it takes like none at all, this is probably like a 2. I don't know how much more basic you can get than this. The only thing I could think of is maybe golem. You know, maybe golem takes less skill than this, but that's about it. I mean, this deck is really basic, easy to play and pick up in my opinion, and it's also amazing in the meta. So let's go ahead and open up this chest, get some star points, and I'm really close to getting everything maxed out on star level. There's only like a couple more cards that I have. I'm going to start the cannon. Besides that, I think it's just the cannon, mirror, and elixir collector. Pretty much all the cards that aren't good I'm saving for last. But yeah, that's going to be it. Make sure to like the video if you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Let me know what other decks you guys want me to play grand challenges with. I'm most likely going to do at least before the season ends, maybe at least 1 more, but I could even do 2 more. Let me know if you guys have any, recommendations of things you would like to see. And that's going to be it. Like the video if you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe if not subscribed already. And thanks again until next time, guys.